So
Yes.
you've done several assignments. I know you're doing PRN right now, but like you've done several assignments with her. So I guess I want to hear a little bit about like what your take is on, making sure that there's a vet that's close enough or figuring out those types of things at all these new locations that you go to. So is there any sort of way that you're like, moving to a new place, making sure that there's a pet hospital within a certain driving distance or something like that, or things that you look at to make sure it'll work for Zoey too?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's one thing that I didn't have to do before, but now I definitely do, is anytime I'm considering an assignment, before I even kind of like apply to it, or even if I initially apply to it, I'll make sure to do some research on things like if there's a vet in the area, or like how close it is in proximity to like potential housing.
Yeah.
Also, even with housing, you have to also factor in if they're pet friendly. And even if they don't say they're pet friendly, I'll message them and just see. Because the place that I'm staying in right now, she normally doesn't rent to pet owners, but she was like, I saw Zoey and she's small and cute, so I think she would be okay. So I definitely recommend just still reaching out just to see. And then also looking at things like, so one of the things that before I even had her in daycare, I was using, there's some really good apps out right now called and websites called, one of them's Rover, which is kind of like a care.com or something like that, where people open their houses or they'll come to you rather than, you going to a daycare or something like that. And so in Texas, I actually use that a lot. If I was going on a trip or things like that on the weekend that I didn't think Zoey would be able to like go to most of the places, I would reach out to some of the people on Rover and they would take her. And that way it was just like more individualized for her. Like it was typically like one-on-one. Basically, I was having her go to like a friend's house or something like that. So,
Yeah.
or some of them had another dog that she got to play with the whole time. So, yeah.
So is that different? I guess like, a lot of people that use Rover, if they have their own apartment or their own house, I guess obviously these places become kind of like your own place, right? But if you're living in a house, I don't know if you've rented rooms or what that looks like, but is having someone come in from Rover ever a problem, or has that been kind of smooth, I guess?
So I haven't ever had anybody come to my house just because I've mostly had it for going to other places just because it's not my house. I feel like if I asked her, like that might be okay. But I just prefer the option of going somewhere, of having her go somewhere else. But
For sure.
that could definitely be an option. I feel like if you ask them. So
yeah. So you've used Rover when you've like left for vacation or been out of town for a couple of days, and that's always been like a good experience for you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
When I was in Texas, a couple travel friends and I had gone on a vacation or like a little mini vacation to Sedona. And so she was with a person from Rover for that. And you get updates like every day. Like you can request to have like them send photos and things like that. So she was sending me pictures of her like playing with the girl's daughter, and like I think they had a dog that she was and getting walks and stuff. So
that's so nice, because as a dog parent, right, they become your child, and so you want to know that they're okay. Is I guess cost wise, because I know that with my dog, we have this really great boarding facility by me, so whenever I've gone on any trips, I've been able to bring her there, and they do a really great job. But I've always been interested in Rover. So is it kind of expensive, or is it kind of like the caregivers will set their price and then you can pick and choose from that?
Yeah, so it pretty much just depends on the caregivers. They pick and choose their prices, and then I typically just go with the ones that have like a combination of really good reviews and then also like the cheapest ones.
Okay.
So,
yeah. And then, but other than that, has there been any like challenges, I guess, with bringing Zoey along and making sure, again, she's kind of like set up for success? It sounds like, with vets and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've actually had really, really good experiences with both vets and daycares that I've been to.
Okay.
I know that that is a possibility, that might be a challenge, that there might not be like either a great one in the area or something like that.
Yeah.
So again, I think it's just a matter of like researching the area, and knowing that that's somewhere that you would be comfortable with before committing to that assignment. But yeah.